Grizz Nation, it is another game day. It feels like we've had a game every other day, but here we are again. We're playing the Golden State Warriors tonight at 9 p.m. Central Time. Joining me to talk about this game, Anthony Slater. Second time that the Grizzlies are matching up with the Warriors today, but it is the start of rival week.
It's like new in the NBA, right? They're doing this like rivalry. Who else? Like, what are the other? I mean, we know this matchup. This is easy for the NBA to pick, but who else are they trying to like pair up across the league?
We also have a game against Minnesota later. I know that I saw Knicks versus Nets.
Yeah, like Warriors play the Raptors on Friday. I mean, I guess they played the finals in 2019, but that doesn't feel too rivalry like to me.
Rival's a loose term. I even asked Jaw about it before they headed on the road, and I was like, what do you feel about rivalry? He's like, we don't have rivals.
Draymond is very like anti-rivalry too.
Yeah. Anyway, it is the start of rival week, so it's a little extra exciting, I guess. The Grizzlies will take on the Warriors. Like I said, this is the second time this season. The first time was Christmas Day, and like I was saying to you, I think we wish that we could just put that one in the back of the memory box, but alas, we will talk about it a little bit. But before I get to today's matchup, Steven Adams is out for 3 to 5 weeks with a PCL sprain, a big blow to the Grizzlies. Does it change anything in terms of how the Warriors approach this game?
Well, first, I was in Sacramento the other day for that Grizzlies Kings game, and I saw Steven Adams in the tunnel, like really limping. And I was like, this doesn't look like, they're sitting him out for rest purposes back to back. The knee's a little sore. I was like, no, this looks like a legitimate injury. And yeah, it appears to be. I mean, remember this playoff series last year? It really flipped when Steven Adams came back for that like middle portion of the series because he was just punishing them on the glass. He made the Warriors go back to their big lineup. They had benched Kevon Looney, but they're like, we can't anymore. Need to protect the inside. So what's interesting is the Warriors very recently, a couple of games ago, put Kevon Looney on the bench. They're going small. Jordan Poole is starting. Really a 3-guard, very small lineup. Their tallest player is 6'7". That might have been a bigger problem tonight if Steven Adams was on the court. The fact that he isn't, the Warriors, I assume, feel more confident going in, playing small ball track meet.
Yeah, this is probably a good matchup. Like a better matchup for them without Steven Adams, because that means probably Jaren Jackson Jr. move. I mean, I don't know. It could be Jaren moves to the 5. It could be Xavier Tillman moves to the 5 and Jaren still plays the 4. But anyway, we'll see. Okay, look, the Grizzlies played their best basketball when they force turnovers, get out in transition, attack the key, get those second chance opportunities, which obviously will be less without Steven Adams because he's an offensive rebounding genius. But the Grizzlies are on a 3-game losing streak right now, the first of the season. The Warriors are coming off a loss to the Nets. They've had a few days off, though, so should have some pretty fresh legs. The reason the Grizzlies went down, and I don't mean the only reason, but they got down early in those 3 games. The Warriors are the top first quarter scoring team in the league. How important is this first quarter going to be? Because I feel like if the Grizzlies get down again, like they just haven't been able to chip their way back into the last 3 games.
Yeah, see, for the Warriors, it's like doesn't even matter if they're up. You're worried about them blowing a lead because they've been blowing leads lately. They were that Nets game you mentioned. They had a 17-point lead. They had a 12-point lead with 5 minutes left against the Nets team without KD, and they blew that 22-6 run for Brooklyn to close the game. Boston, you might have watched that game last week on TNT. They're up double digits in that game. They should have closed it out. So the first quarter's important. Probably from a Memphis perspective, just don't get run out of the gym. The juices are going to be flowing on both sides. Probably the mouths are going to be moving a little bit too.
Probably.
So yeah, I mean, it's important in the sense of like Memphis does not want to be down 12 when the first quarter ends. But if they are, there's plenty of time left in the game, and there's plenty of time for the Warriors to blow it, at least from what we've seen lately.
We all know John Morant is going to come to play. Steph Curry is going to come to play. The big guys come to play. From the Grizzlies side, I think they would like to see Desmond Bane have a big game tonight, especially with Steven Adams out. He went 0 for 7 from the 3-point line in that Christmas Day game against the Warriors. Obviously still coming back from injury. He looks a lot more like himself today. From the Warriors, who do you need to have a big game other than like the big guys?
Yeah, I mean, I could go a lot of ways with this answer, as you know, but I'd say Andrew Wiggins was having an awesome season after his playoffs, right? He used that playoffs where he just kind of broke onto the scene. to really surge to open the season. He was shooting 45% from three. He had like a 30-something point game against Houston to just cap what had been a great opening month for him. But then he got hurt, strained his groin, got really sick while he was still rehabbing. He ended up missing 15 games, which is the longest absence of his career. And ever since he's got back, he's been bad, like on both sides of the ball. 34% overall, 22% from three. His defense hasn't been what it needs to be. And he's trying to get back into a flow, but like he was so ineffective the other night that they didn't close with him. They were closing with Dante DiVincenzo and Jonathan Kuminga over Andrew Wiggins. So he needs to find it, not only just so the Warriors can maybe beat the Grizzlies tonight, but like they need him to find it to get their season back on track. So he'd be one. And then I mentioned the name, but Jonathan Kuminga is like on the rise for the Warriors. And they have this youth movement, the 2 timeline approach that everyone in the league kind of knows, where they are trying to basically mentor the next era under this established era. Well, the one guy who's actually popped, it seems to this point, is Kuminga. And in that game I mentioned the other day, he had 20 points, 18 in the paint. The Warriors are second to last in the NBA in paint points. They shoot a lot of threes. They have trouble getting to the rim. Kuminga is the one guy when he is lively who can score at the rim, and he did, like I said, 18 paint points the other night. So against Memphis's athleticism and length, I just think he needs to show up.
Yeah, and in that paint is exactly what the Grizzlies do so well. So Jonathan Kuminga could have a huge game tonight. In the last game, the Grizzlies outscored the Warriors 50-26 in the paint, except they shot 9 of 39 from the 3-point line. So if you're a Grizzlies fan, you want to see obviously them continue to attack the paint, because that's what Ja does so well, and then he dishes it out to the other guys. But you want to see a little bit higher percentages from that three.
So let me ask you about Bane. Because I think Desmond Bane comes into the playoff series last year with, I believe it was like back spasms. He was dealing with back. Yeah. He almost didn't play in game 1. He gutted through it, but you could tell like he was not himself those at least the first like 4 games of that series. I think that was a big impact. And then on Christmas, he's back in that game, but he had just been coming off an injury. He was ineffective. I don't know if you have the box score in front of you, but he was something like 2 of 10 in that game.
Over 7 from the 3.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, you mentioned 9 of 39. To me, it's really on Bane. Like if Bane can't get going, and he really hasn't against the Warriors, it's going to be tough for them to score.
Yeah. I think I have a box score right in front of me. He ended up having just 9 points, 2 for 13 from the field. He got 5 of his points from the free throw line, and then 3 rebounds, 0 assists. So, okay. So yeah, Bane is my player to watch tonight. To end this off, give me one matchup that you are excited for.
Dylan Brooks against the world. How about that one?
I knew you were going to say that.
Dylan Brooks against what is sure to be a high volume of trash talk heading his direction. And just, is that channeled in a good direction? Is he, getting defensive stops, causing Draymond to get a double technical at the wrong time? Or, is he frustrating Jordan Poole because he'll probably get some of the Poole assignment and some of the Curry assignment? Curry didn't play on Christmas, which you probably remember. He's back tonight. That's another aspect of this matchup. But just that interplay. And how about him and Klay Thompson? Klay Thompson's been one of the quieter parts, at least on the court, trash talk. And obviously he ended the last game with that, very memorable taunt. Yeah. So, I think that's the matchup to watch for everyone, I would assume, tonight.
I agree. I was assuming you were going to say something with Dylan, but shout out Dylan. Hopefully he has a big defensive game tonight, gets it going on the offensive end. Anthony, thank you for your time this morning. It's going to be, either way, it's going to be an exciting game tonight, because although they say it's not a rivalry, like there's some spice in this matchup.
There's some bad blood. And by the way, this is great for the league. You know what? I don't like stale regular season matchups where I go to the arena like, who they got tonight again? I like this matchup. I wish they played 9 times this season, and I really wish they get another playoff series against each other, because that's what really starts to build it when you get year over year playoff matchups.
Let's hope for it. Let's go. Like I said, the game tips is a late one because it's on the West Coast. So Grizzlies fans, this one's at 9 p.m. Central Time, at 7 p.m. if you're watching from San Francisco. And you can watch this one on Bally Sports Southeast and the Bally Sports Plus app.